what have the Jays done all season long? And you've seen it, Kev, as a fan of the AL East. Yep. They get murdered or lose a heartbreaking game and come back and punch you in the face. They're not. It's what, like the old Jays team used to fold, and that's what I used to hate about them. These guys are different. They're like guys you go to war with. It's like, man, you're my buddy. Like, let's go. Like, their clubhouse dynamic, I've never seen a Blue Jay team where everyone gets along.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Apparently, he's a pretty darn good defensive coordinator. The 49ers are decimated by injury. This guy's doing it again. Wade Phillips, Norv Turner, all these guys, there's a lot of great coordinators out there. I'm not so sure Mike McDaniel isn't a real good coordinator, a run game coordinator, a quarterback coach with the 49ers during some Super Bowl years. Maybe he's just not built to be a head coach.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I think a divorce is coming. I don't think LeBron finishes the year with the LA Lakers. And the trump card he tried to play has backfired on him big time. And I'm here for all the smoke. I got my marshmallows. I got my skewers. I got the fireplace. I'm going to sit back, kicking my feet, and watch the LA dysfunction play out in real time.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Governor calls you out in the football state, you're out.
And it was so funny, too, because after he fired Kelly on Sunday, right, Woodward released a statement that said that, you know, in effect, that he was still in charge of the athletic department. Well, you didn't check with the governor because apparently he had other plans for the athletic department, and you're not in them.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
What a whirlwind day it was yesterday for a Tuesday, and we're going to recap that all and much more today on a Wednesday hump day edition of the Early Line right here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Donnie Rightside. He is Joe Ranieri, and over the next 2 hours, we got you covered on all the hottest topics. It was trade day in the NFL, and boy, did we get some trades go down that we will certainly review and see where some of these teams' futures might lie. Talking about you, New York Jets, and also getting a fantastic cornerback there in Sauce Gardner for the Colts. That and much more coming up here. We'll flip it over to some NFL games this weekend to get you that preview on a Wednesday to where some of these spreads are currently pointing, as well as some big college football games. Speaking of college, we also have college basketball on the docket again. Day number 3. We'll see what goes down and some maybe intricacies that you might want to get into. And also, my Philadelphia 76ers had a nice lead against those Chicago Bulls and collapsed in the second half. But Joe Ranieri, my Raptors, public fade, comes through with a victory. We got a lot to get to today, don't we?
We got a ton. Plus, we got a college football ranking, the very first one. A lot of shocking news. But the good news is that is all going to change, Donnie, over the next couple of weeks. So it's enjoy it while you can now, because it will not be the same come next week.
No, it won't. And there's a television show to let us know who's the top seeds when we already know who the top seeds are. It has no bearing on what's going to happen in 5 weeks from now once we get to the college football playoffs. I'm caffeinated. Now it's time to get Joe caffeinated. What do we got?
Oh, Donnie, today we're pouring a extra strong mocha choke double latte here. Maybe a shot of, I don't know, Zambuca and a couple of coffee beans. Why? Because we are celebrating. It is a glorious, beautiful, wonderful day to be a New York Jets fan. And you may be saying, why? Is he drunk already? Did they win a game? Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. It's better than that, though. Yesterday, the New York Jets, after decades of delusion, finally looked in the mirror and admitted the truth. They suck. And they are finally doing what the tortured fan base have been screaming for them to do for 15 years, Donnie. They are tearing this dysfunctional, embarrassing disaster down to the studs. They had the long overdue fire sale. Sauce Gardner, gone. Shipped to the Colts for a whole bunch of number 1 picks. Quentin Williams, the best player on the team, gone. See ya. gone to Dallas for more picks. And I am here to tell you, as a lifelong, miserable, beaten down Jets fan, yesterday was our Super Bowl. It was the best day that I have had as a fan in recent memory, because for the first time, they have actually stopped lying to us. They've stopped selling us this garbage that they're one piece away or they're just unlucky. And if they only found the right coach. No, they have finally embraced who they are. An awful, uncompetitive football team with a useless owner that hasn't been relevant in a decade and a half, Donnie. And Donnie, I hope they don't stop there. Trade Garrett Wilson. Trade Brees Hall in the offseason. Hell, trade the hot dog vendor. Trade Fireman Ed. Get them all the hell out of there. We are going to be horrible no matter what. So let's at least be horrible with a mountain of future draft picks to rebuild this thing the right way. And I don't want to hear the argument from the haters. Oh, but the Jets can't draft. Who cares? That's exactly why you get as many picks as humanly possible. Even the Jets can't screw up all of them. Now, usually, Donnie, by week 10, all hope is lost for Jet fans, including myself. I'm usually in the backyard already burning whatever jersey somebody got me for Christmas, but not today, Donnie. Today, this New York Jets franchise finally took the first step. And the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. So welcome to step one, Jets fans. Donnie, it is a beautiful morning after all.
Got to get to those 12 steps here to get a championship here at this point, Joe. And also, I've changed my philosophy in the NFL over the past couple of years. Like with the Eagles getting a couple Lombardi trophies, it's either you are all in or you are all the way out. There is no get on that treadmill, make the playoffs, see if you can have some fun. Looking at you, Pittsburgh Steelers. So the one thing I can appreciate, you just hope if you're a Jets fan that you have the leadership in place that goes, we know exactly how to handle this compensation and we're going to build this thing the right way. If you do, maybe the Jets turn into a dynasty franchise where they can actually start to make the playoffs as opposed to constantly miss it. It's fun times to talk about here, and we'll see how it plays out. And the early lineup we'll get to right now, which starts right away with Sauce Gardner. I didn't see this one coming. Middle of the afternoon, a text comes through. Oh, my goodness. Sauce is on the move. And here's what I like. A team that says in the Jets, by the time Sauce Gardner is still a perennial Pro Bowler, we're not going to be good anyway. Let's get the compensation back. But also, if you're a Colts fan, you have to like this. You have a missing piece at cornerback. You got that piece. You figure you can make a deep playoff run. I think both of these franchises won. You're excited to get a starting quarterback if you're the Colts, and you're excited to get multiple draft picks for a bad football team to try to rebuild. That was a stunner yesterday that Sauce Gardner was on the move.
Yeah, well, listen, because you don't expect it from a franchise like the New York Jets, who tries to continually sell the fan base and everyone else that they've got this. No, they don't have this. But while it's for the future now for the Jets, it is not. It is about the present for the Colts, Donnie. A pair of first rounders for Sauce Gardner. The Colts must clearly believe that the AFC is up for grabs, and they have now pushed all their chips into the center of the table.
And also understand this, too. Like, Sauce just signed a new deal, so you're actually getting good compensation back for the Colts, where he's not a free agent. It's going to reset that market. So I think that worked out for both teams. Quinnen Williams also on the move, went to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what the Dallas Cowboys, they need 7 Quinnen Williams on the defense to try to improve that here. But again, more compensation back for the Jets at this point right now, and I thought that made some sense. Jacoby Myers also on the move, which makes sense for the Jaguars. They're down a couple wide receivers and banged up here. You got to get somebody over there to help out that offensive passing game while you wait for the other starters to get healthy here as you try to make a playoff run. And for the Raiders, they probably should have did more yesterday also moving that team. But Jacoby Myers on the road to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like. I mean, Travis Hunter down, right? He's got the knee issue now, so they need some help there in a very winnable, or at least what they think is a winnable division and an opportunity at a postseason berth. So, yeah, I understand there were a couple of teams in it for Jacoby Myers, but Jacksonville is where he ended up landing, and you don't hate it because you didn't have to break the bank to get a guy that's already been proven in the NFL.
By the way, Rashid Shaheed on his way to Seattle. I love this move for the Seattle Seahawks. Add some more speed to the outside there for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Great move for the Seahawks. And again, smart move for New Orleans. You're going nowhere. Get compensation back. Rebuild that team.
Yeah, and he's only 27 years old, but don't forget, when Clint Kubiak was the offensive coordinator in New Orleans, he's worked with him. So he already knows the system. He's very familiar with it. Going in a midseason situation, given Jackson Smith-Njigba, another receiver out there outside of Cooper Kupp, this is Sam Darnold. They're building around Sam Darnold for an aerial attack and a running game. Keep an eye on the Seahawks here moving forward.
Keep an eye on the Cardinals, actually doing the right thing here. The future of the franchise is not Jacoby Brissett, and maybe it's not Kyler Murray, but you cannot lose the locker room by taking Jacoby Brissett out right now. Here's what you do, Joe. You let Jacoby Brissett play until he's bad, then you reinsert Kyler Murray, and you play it all off on he's still injured. We don't want to rush him right now. The Cardinals actually doing exactly the right thing right now. Wow, how about that?
Yeah, and they cloaked it, Donnie, and sold it to everyone under an injury there for Murray. But the problem is you just cut the trade value of Kyler Murray, who still owed $100 million, in half. So you better hope Jacoby Brissett falls on his face. Otherwise, you're stuck paying Kyler Murray for a long time, and ain't no team taking that off your books.
Shota Imanaga off the books here for those Chicago Cubs. Going to be on the books for somebody else. Maybe he goes to the Dodgers, Joe. How about that?
Yeah, and you know it, Donnie. It's the first thing I thought of yesterday, too, as well. But why, at 32 years old, are the Cubs not making a play with him? I don't understand that, unless maybe he's not healthy.
By the way, that's a $15 million, which is pretty cheap. Tom Brady clones his dog, and also Dana White. Uh-oh. Congress wants to talk to you about possibly a betting scandal. Never a good look. Let's get to some spread lines coming up next.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
But the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Fly Pelican, more like grounded Pelican. The Pelicans are 0-6 to start the season. Their main guys aren't their main guys. And it comes to a point where, what do you do if you are Joe Dumars and the leadership of New Orleans?
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You want to throw $12, $13 million at Kiffin? That's always a possibility. Summerall, they lost the other night to, in that matchup to UTSA. Or do you go back to potentially the mad scientist and Nick Saban, give him, complete control of the athletic department and see if he can turn it around? We'll see. But whatever they go, they're going to need a coach to hit the ground running.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
One playoff win, and it's been a train wreck in every other year. But if we all agree that he was right in how he handicapped the quarterback talent coming out of that draft, and they got the right guy, and I think we all do agree on that, then what's the benefit of bringing a totally new voice into the room to now be the coach of Jackson Dart?
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get on some spread lines, people. This weekend, college football, certainly, as we just saw. Hey, you know what? There's a TV show that lets us know the rankings when we already know the rankings, and nothing means anything here. It's when I say there's money grabs in sports, that show is the ultimate money grab. I will not watch 1 second of what the committee thinks and where those teams will be, because why? We have multiple weeks to let it play out. You know what I want that TV show, Joe? After the season is done and we know where these teams are going to be playing, what the seedings are. I don't need it 5 weeks ahead of time, but that's what we get. But now, Let's shift our focus to 7:30 at night in the SEC on Saturday night. Florida and Kentucky. Line opened up as a favorite towards Florida. 4.5, now down to 3 at most outlets. Kentucky the underdog in a low total, Joe, of 44.5. Florida, Kentucky. What's the spread line here?
Well, we just watched Florida lose to Georgia, but they did cover as a 7-point dog in that spot. Now, on the other hand, we just watched Kentucky shock Auburn and get Hugh Freeze fired in a whopping 10-3 game. They were an 11.5-point road dog in that one there. But the interesting part here, Donnie, is that Florida opened as this 3.5-point road favorite. And all I have seen is tickets coming in on the Gators because it appears that the public thinks that line is just wrong. It's way too short. There's no way you can back a Kentucky offense against this Gators defense. The problem is, Donnie, this line is frozen. It's not going anywhere, which tells me there is a whole lot of pushback and a line drawn in the sand here with Kentucky. So while the public is on Florida, there is clearly some very influential money and bettors backing Kentucky in this one. I'm wondering if this thing gets down to 3. No way I can back Kentucky, but if I can get rid of the hook, I might very well be jumping in.
Let's stay on Saturday night college football, 7:30 out there on the West Coast. Nevada's going to take on Utah State. This line, Joe, the look ahead was over 10 points, actually 11.5 at some outlets. We're now below double digits, between 9.5 to 9s. The total in this game sitting there comfortably at 52.5. Nevada and Utah State. What's the spread line we should be associating here, Joe?
Yeah, well, we can tell, Donnie. I mean, the public's not running to the window to back Nevada at Utah State, right? I mean, Nevada's 1-7. They just got beat up by Boise State. And then you had Utah State somehow lost to New Mexico, and they were a 3-point road dog and got absolutely blown out. But you mentioned it. That line opens up 11.5. And boy, oh boy, the amount of money, not tickets, money that has pushed that thing down tells me that the pros all over Nevada here. They are not buying it here, pushing this thing down to under double digits. This is a very notable move because this is one of the least heavily bet and probably one of the most overlooked games of the week. And when you see this kind of line move in a game like this, Donnie, it's not the public running to the window betting $20 on Nevada. This is a significant move, one that tells me the pros are all over Nevada here.
By the way, this was my favorite spread line that you picked out, Joe, here. It's the Browns and the Jets. I sat here in my office yesterday as the trades were going down saying, should I just take Cleveland now as a plus 1.5-point favorite? Because as a handicapper, you're supposed to just get the best line available there, beat the CLV, and that's all that matters. But then I said to myself, now hold on. Okay, Queenan Williams is going to be down this weekend because why? He's not going to play for the Jets. Same thing with Sauce Gardner. Chalk it up to injuries, right? Even though we know they got traded. Oh, no, 2 of the best defenders. Then I go, wait a second. I'm going to take Cleveland as one of the worst offenses in the sport on the road in a game that might have rainy conditions and expect them to win when they never win on the road, Joe. It's a 2.5-point favorite now for Cleveland and a total of 37.5. Joe, your spread line for this game, what is it?
Donnie, to me, listen, forget about the side. Trying to figure out which one of these two teams, first 1 to 3 wins. But what I was interested in, Donnie, was now that the Jets just pretty much got rid of their 2 best defensive players, was the total going to move, Donnie? That was what I was waiting for. Would we start to see money come in and push this thing up from 37.5, which is where it opened, which is where it was prior to the trades yesterday, Donnie? I'm saying, I'm wondering if people are going, well, who's going to play any defense for the Jets now? We might as well, heck, maybe the Browns can look somewhat offensive. Nope, still 37.5, Donnie, maybe a 38 in the marketplace. So the fact that the Jets just dismantled and fire-sold their entire defense of who's who on that side of the ball, and this total has not moved yet, tells you everything you need to know about how bad this game is going to be.
It's such a bad game, Joe, but, you know, us as handicappers, I am so intrigued by this game. The same thing. You're like, who would ever watch this game? I want to watch this game because it's almost like you have no idea how it's going to play out. But again, my thought process was get the best number. Go like, I'm taking that Cleveland offense to move the football and win this game and be able to score 21 points. I don't know if I can trust it. Fun times. We'll keep an eye on that game throughout the week here. Let's stay in the NFL, 1 o'clock on Sunday, Joe. The Jacksonville Jaguars off a victory on the road now to take on Houston. We know Houston has a great defense. We technically don't know who Houston's quarterback is going to be this weekend. And also, hey, Houston, you got to score touchdowns. Look at this line. Houston has a favorite, 2.5. Look ahead. Now down to 1 at most outlets here. And a total, Joe, 41.5. Now down to 38 at some outlets. How about that? What's the spread line here?
Look ahead line, Donnie, was a field goal, right? So for a home field advantage there for Houston. But if you want to know if Stroud is playing, don't look any further than where the line is right now. They're not expecting him to play in the market as this thing is down to -1. And quite honestly, if Stroud could play, he would play. I'm sure of that. But the market doesn't seem to think he's going to suit up, which is why this money is continuing to come in on Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville will end up as the road favorite here, Donnie. So if you like them, back them now and get it done with, because I don't trust Davis Mills with that offense. And I would look there. Also, keep an eye on this total, Donnie. Opened up 41.5. We're down to 38 already. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality of the offenses here.
Maybe one touchdown we get in that game, Joe. One final spread line in the NBA tonight. Oklahoma City, all they do is win, 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 Joe. They're 5.5-point favorites right now in a total of 228 against the Trailblazers tonight in the Rose City. Who wins this one, and what's your spread line?
Yeah, kudos to SGA. I think now setting NBA records again last night for 80th straight 20-point game. Passing Oscar Robertson, great job. Second of a back-to-back for them. And Portland, do not sleep on Portland at home here. This is a lot of points for a team that's young and hungry. Could surprise OKC here.
Ooh, boy, let's get back to those Jets, Jets next.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
But the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Fly Pelican, more like grounded Pelican. The Pelicans are 0-6 to start the season. Their main guys aren't their main guys. And it comes to a point where, what do you do if you are Joe Dumars and the leadership of New Orleans?
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You want to throw $12, $13 million at Kiffin? That's always a possibility. Summerall, they lost the other night to, in that matchup to UTSA. Or do you go back to potentially the mad scientist and Nick Saban, give him, complete control of the athletic department and see if he can turn it around? We'll see. But whatever they go, they're going to need a coach to hit the ground running.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
One playoff win, and it's been a train wreck in every other year. But if we all agree that he was right in how he handicapped the quarterback talent coming out of that draft, and they got the right guy, and I think we all do agree on that, then what's the benefit of bringing a totally new voice into the room to now be the coach of Jackson Dart?
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Growing up as a youngster in the NFL, loving NFL football. Hey, the trade deadline's next. What trade deadline? There's a trade deadline in the NFL. Nobody was traded for like 30 straight years in the NFL because you can't learn the playbooks. It doesn't make sense. That's not how we do business. So the NFL goes, let's spice it up a little bit. We'll move the trade deadline back so teams that actually think they're out of it can move assets, and teams that think they can win a Super Bowl can buy assets. And that's what you got yesterday. The notable trades, particularly with the New York Jets. Sauce Gardner on the way to take on or play for the Colts. Great move there for both sides. Quinnen Williams goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Multiple compensation packages back to the Jets that should load them up for the future. The champions, at least for one day, were the Jets yesterday, Joe.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, in some of the things that, flew under the radar. I think we had 10 deals in all over Monday and Tuesday before 4 o'clock Eastern time. Donnie, and the names that we got here and the amount of draft assets that swapped hands yesterday was kind of the first, Donnie, because we've never had a deadline like that. And kudos, by the way, to Jerry Jones. We kind of mocked him a little bit yesterday, Donnie, saying, what is he teasing? Like, he can't be teasing Logan. Well, like, this can't. Well, listen, if Quinnen Williams is what he had in mind here, well, all of a sudden, Quinnen Williams is under contract for 2 more years. So Jerry will have him there, no problem. And listen, they can't stop the run. So you can't fault Jerry here. When you look back at what that trade was with Parsons now and you throw Quinnen Williams into it, it's a lot easier to swallow if I am a Cowboys fan moving, because don't forget how many injuries they have on that defensive line there. So Jerry was true to his word yesterday and basically siphoning off one of the best players the Jets have had in a very, very long time on the defensive side of the ball. But the Jets are doing what the Jets should have been doing a decade ago, Donnie. You got to blow it up and you got to start from scratch. Look at Detroit right now, case in point, how miserable they were for decades, Donnie. And then they finally said, nope, no more. Let's burn it down. Let's build it from scratch and go from there. And their head coach happens to be a guy that was part of that rebuild in Detroit. So finally, some common sense out of the New York Jets.
It's almost like two sides you could take a look at this, too. Like, if you're the head coach of the Jets right now and you sit back and go like, okay, well, I don't have too much pressure, but will you actually get to see this through, or did that foundation get built only for a new coach to come in like Tony Dungy and the Bucs? Like, hey, great foundation, built us up. We're a playoff team. Now we need to be a contender, win it all. You're going to get fired, Tony Dungy. In comes John Gruden at this point. We see that across the sports landscape a lot, and that should be something interesting to watch. Now, Jets GM Moogie says, it's not really a tear down. Let's hear some of his thoughts now.
Again, like, you hear them and you're like, I probably wouldn't do that, but we have our set values. We keep all those conversations private. And when it came down to the last few days, Indianapolis kept getting richer and richer with their value, and eventually, like I said, was too good to pass up. But I have a lot of conversations throughout the course of the year with different GMs, and this one materialized.
Is there any job in sports, business, in life that would be better for a person that likes the NFL to be an NFL GM? This guy gets to play fantasy football and then talks to the press in a hat and a hoodie. That is the greatest job on earth if you could hold that, Joe.
I agree. But listen, you got to appreciate the guy having the gumption to be able to do it. And Woody giving him the okay and the thumbs up to trade 2 cornerstone players. One guy you just signed and locked up forever, giving him the richest deal ever for a defensive back. And now you shipped him out 10 games into the season. So you got to love that at least Woody is saying, all right, guys, it's time here you go. Now go ahead, get as many assets as you can. And that's how you got to restart. It starts, Donnie, of course. If it's not this year, it'll be 2027. But you need that quarterback, and there's only one place to go get one, Donnie, and that's in the draft.
Again, be all in to win or be all out to build to try to get a winner. At least if you're a Jets fan, you know it's going to be dark seasons. But what the hell have you been watching for the past 20 years anyway? Every year is a dark season for the Jets. At least there might be some hope on the horizon at this point that you can get excited for. But by the way, kids live in a different life, and absolutely, when your favorite player is traded, you get upset. And we see so many things now with, like, the microphones in front of younger Jet fans, like, I hate this team. I'm born into it. I'm always going to be a Jets fan, but I hate this team. I'm going to build this up for after the segment, Joe. There's a video out here that brings me back to my childhood when mom comes in and says, you know what, this isn't right, or this change has to be made. And as a kid, you wear your emotions, Joe, on your sleeve, and you don't hold back. So I know you've seen this video before, and we're going to show it here in just a few moments. But the fact that kids wear this on their sleeve as well, and dad comes in to tell you what's not going right about your New York Jets, you got to come back after the commercial break here because you need to see this video. This is Jets passion, people.
Yeah.
Starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Listen, never understood a word he said, but it doesn't matter because he was able to walk into living rooms and get kids to sign. It's a little different situation with the NIL now, but the reality is he represents Louisiana. He is Mr. Louisiana. What better? You should have never fired him to begin with in this spot. So, yeah, I hope they do reconsider and bring him back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's a far longer track record of the Chiefs laying huge numbers and not covering them with Mahomes than anything on the contrary.
And they did that a lot last year where they didn't cover those numbers, but a lot of the time last year they didn't have Rice and they weren't fully healthy, and now they are fully healthy. And now we have an offense that has 4 viable receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
24 points, and 23 rebounds. Folks, let me tell you something. That's 23 rebounds versus Tennessee. Not Tennessee Tech, not Tennessee Chattanooga, not East Tennessee, West Tennessee, South Tennessee. I don't know how many Tennessees they got in that state. That's a university. He did it against Rick Barnes' kids.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
To be young out there, always have hope. Who's your favorite team? Could be the New York Jets, could be the Philadelphia Eagles, it could be anybody out there. But the one thing I do know is when I was a kid, my very first jersey I got as an Eagles fan, Joe, was Reggie White. Now, granted, I was a little bit older when Reggie White left in free agency and not, basically 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade, where I would have been devastated if my dad came in and goes, hey, Donnie, Reggie just got traded. Where? No! Like, that's what happened. Let's play this video on a young, passionate Jets fan getting ready for more pain that his dad is going to deliver this news.
And it's okay, okay?
What?
The Jets traded Sauce today.
To where? To where?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll get you a different one. He went to Indianapolis, and they also traded. They also traded Quinn Williams.
I play Saturday.
He did, but so did Sauce.
No, I don't like the Jets. Dad, did Quincy leave?
No, Quincy's still there.
The worst I'm taking down all the Jets stuff now.
No, it's fine. Quinn Williams on the Cowboys. Sauce went to the Colts. It's okay.
I want the Colts now.
Guess what? We got 3 first-round picks for it. So we have 3.
I love that.
Fantastic. Joe, the kid is like, the best thing about it too is like it's his favorite player, but his first notion is, I just got his jersey. That is fantastic theater playing out in real time.
Yeah, Donnie, honestly, I can so relate to that kid. I've been doing that every year for about 40 some odd years now as born into being a Jet fan. And that's it. Usually it happens by week 3. That's usually when the tears and the tantrums come in for me, and I burn everything that has a New York Jets logo on it, only for people to buy it all back for me for Christmas, and then I burn it again the next year. So I can relate to that kid there in that spot. I know exactly what it feels like, my man.
I love it, man. And again, like as a kid, like you make determinations based on your favorite player, and favorite players are usually the best players on the team. So when you get jerseys and hats, and you become a fan. Like I'm going to watch this guy for 5, 6, 7, 8 years on my favorite team and be great. And the fact that you're like, hey, you know what, Dad, get me a Sauce Gardner jersey. Awesome. He just signed, only to get traded away. And if you are a Jets fan, like some of these young kids are just watching these Jets game with their dad that's born down. It's tradition there where it's like, okay, well, at least I get to watch Sauce Gardner play, and that's my fun. And this kid got hit in real time. My favorite player on the team that I watch on Sunday who stinks, now he's not here. And his response was, I'm not even a Jets fan anymore. I love him, man. I do.
Well, I love that. He says, I want to be a Colts fan now. Believe me, man, I can relate, kid. I can absolutely relate to your pain. Welcome to our world. Welcome to being a New York Jets fan, guy. I love it.
Like you wear it, like eventually there's supposed to be like to go with that heartache, like celebrations. Like again, me as an Eagles fan, we haven't had the same path as the Jets, where the Jets like always bad outside like Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan knocking off the Patriots in the playoffs, right? Like we didn't have those type of lows, but it was always like we never get to the top of the mountain. But it's passed down a generation. Donnie, you're an Eagles fan. Here's what's going to happen. Good regular season, absolutely devastating defeats in the playoffs, but that's just the way it is. But when we saw just a couple weeks ago, like outside the stadium, looked like a teenage Jets fan, like, hey, tell me about the Jets. And you can see the darkness in his eyes. But the thing I love about Jets fans is he's like, I hate this team. I'm born into it, but I will always be a Jets fan. But I hate this team. Like, I love that passion from guys and franchises that just treat their fans with such disrespect, not because they don't think they're trying to win. It's like, give them something to cheer for, but you know they're back every single year, man. Sooner than later, the Jets fans will get to the top of that mountain. But I respect the struggle of every Jets fan right now saying, there's no hope, but I'm still a Jets fan.
I said it, Donnie. Yesterday was my Super Bowl with the New York Jets, because they finally looked themselves in the mirror, and it finally came to the conclusion, right? And the realization that, God, we suck. This is not going to work. Like, you can't. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Finally, the Jets said, you know what? New regime, new head coach, new big. We gotta tear it down, and that's exactly what they did. So that, to me, is the best step in the right direction. I am willing to go through torture for the next couple of years, Donnie, because you know why? Now I have perpetual hope. My hope usually ends right after week 2 of every season, Donnie. It starts preseason, and it always ends right around the second or third week of the season when I realize, God, they're awful. This again, it's the same thing. Now, at least, I have hope for over the next couple of years.
By the way, we're going to get to some other NFL talk, but just one more time, please. Put that video back up of this kid absolutely losing his mind over Sauce Gardner. One more time for the Jets fans. Roll it again.
And it's okay, okay?
What?
The Jets traded Sauce today.
To where? To where?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll get you a different one. He went to Indianapolis, and they also traded Quinn Williams.
I played that video.
He did, but so did Sauce.
No, I don't like the Jets. That did Quincy leave?
No, Quincy's still there. No, it's fine. Quinn Williams on the Cowboys. Sauce went to the Colts. It's okay.
I want the Colts now.
Guess what? We got 3 first-round picks for it. So we have 3.
Like it's just like again, like the dad comes in with the camera, like that, like calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like, was he gonna tell him like grandma passed away or something really bad? Yeah. Like, and the kid's reaction was probably the same as anything else. Like that like he was like, let me think about it for 5 seconds, and just bust out and crying at that point. Like, I hate to laugh at him, but you can feel the pain of that kid.
Donnie, the dad, too, like A for effort. The fact that you tried calming the kid by selling him on three first-round draft picks was just might have been the highlight of that video right there. That was absolutely fantastic. It's okay, son. Don't worry about it. They got 3 first-round picks. Oh, man, priceless stuff.
It is great because, again, the kid starts in the cabinet and cries, and he makes his way all the way around the table and comes back for a little bit of hope. And Dad's like, yeah, you got 3 first-round picks. Like, I don't care. Put them on my jersey, and I'm a Colts fan now. Congratulations, Jets fan. More pain on the horizon. Maybe that sun is going to come up and have a brighter day there, but we'll certainly find out. I'll tell you some other moves around the NFL that I did like, Joe. The New Orleans Saints aren't going anywhere. Get compensation back, rebuild that team, right? Also, you said, well, why did they keep Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara told that team, you trade me, I'm drinking Mai Tais, which means I'm not going to Las Vegas to celebrate. I will retire. That's why he's there. But Rashid Shaheed, a very good wide receiver with the ability to get deep, intriguing move for the Seahawks to level up, having a good season already. They add another weapon. I love this move. I do.
Well, listen, they got decent value for Shaheed, right? A 4th and a 5th rounder. But if I am Tyler Shough, how am I feeling here that now it's hard enough being a quarterback in New Orleans, and now you took away one of the fastest wide receivers in the league, and now I have absolutely nobody to throw the ball to. Going to be some tough times there, but kudos for Shaheed getting out of Dodge here, Donnie. I don't blame him.
How about the Cardinals? 3 straight game starts for Jacoby Brissett. Now, you did pick up the win against Dallas, but it's not the reason that you're losing here. Brissett has been really good and delivering the football on time, and it looks like a ready-made NFL offense. 6+ touchdown passes over the past 3 weeks. He's been good. And you know what? Sometimes you got to take a look at the coach and say, Coach, where's our future going to be? It might be with Kyler Murray, but I'm not losing the locker room by putting Kyler Murray back in when this guy is delivering footballs out there.
Yeah, and again, you now you have the built-in excuse, right? Like, well, Kyler Murray's got a foot injury, so we're just going to go with Jacoby to be. Yeah, right. Good news is, though, listen, you still owe Kyler $100 million one way or the other. Now that he's a backup, good luck trying to trade him in the offseason or get out from under that $100 million. That's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah, it's so crazy how you think you have a franchise quarterback, you pay him a lot of money in the blink of an eye. It's like, hey, this other guy can do similar things to him. I'm not saying Cincinnati made any mistake by saying your starting quarterback's supposed to be Joe Burrow, but what would Joe Burrow be doing better right now than Joe Flacco at like a fraction of the vet minimum price? It's astounding sometimes some of these guys can really step up. And also the starting quarterback say, well, you got to pay him $80 million and $70 million a year. Maybe you don't have to do that. You can certainly build a better team around them. Crazy stuff in the NFL, no doubt about it. But let's get more attention over to the association next. NBA talk on the early line. Coming up now.
Starts off on a positive note of getting Lamar Jackson back Thursday night, which was great. He threw for 200 yards, did not look rusty at all. He only rushed for 15, but he didn't really need that. Lamar Jackson also threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which going to Mark Andrews. So guess who's back and relative again at the tight end position now that Lamar's back? Oh, wait, it's Mark Andrews. No kidding. I mean, the guy just catches touchdowns. It's Lamar's favorite guy in the red zone.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Listen, never understood a word he said, but it doesn't matter because he was able to walk into living rooms and get kids to sign. It's a little different situation with the NIL now, but the reality is he represents Louisiana. He is Mr. Louisiana. What bet you should have never fired him to begin with in this spot. So, yeah, I hope they do reconsider and bring him back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's a far longer track record of the Chiefs laying huge numbers and not covering them with Mahomes than anything on the contrary.
And they did that a lot last year where they didn't cover those numbers, but a lot of the time last year they didn't have Rice and they weren't fully healthy, and now they are fully healthy. And now we have an offense that has 4 viable receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
24 points, and 23 rebounds. Folks, let me tell you something. That's 23 rebounds,
versus Tennessee. Not Tennessee Tech, not Tennessee Chattanooga, not East Tennessee, West Tennessee, South Tennessee. I don't know how many Tennessees they got in that state. That's a university. He did it against Rick Barnes' kids.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Stacked deck in the NBA tonight. Games start at 7 o'clock. Nightcaps there. 3 games at 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Let's focus on the city of Cleveland here. The Philadelphia 76ers coming to town. Fresh off of a game yesterday, Joe, where I had an eye on that one. And I said, man, Sixers with an easy victory of 20-plus points around the break here. They ended up losing that basketball game, but no rest for the weary as they get on a plane from Chicago and head over to Cleveland. And they're catching roughly double digits in this game as an underdog to the Cleveland Cavaliers. A total, Joe, of around 233.5 to 234.5. Sixers on a back-to-back. They're a young team here. Joel Embiid probably not going to play. Is that line too high for the Cleveland Cavaliers, or good luck Sixers beating the Cavs? I sort of feel like I'm falling into the public trap and saying I'm going to take the 76ers in this game, no?
Well, I'd be careful with that because finally it looks like Cleveland will be getting back Darius Garland as well as Merrill here. Both are listed questionable, but Garland looks like he's going to go. I mean, they've had to do this now without a legit point guard for quite a while here. Allen looks like he's going to go. The only guy that's out is Strus for the Cavaliers, but now they are rested, they are home, and they're going to have their quarterback back here with Darius Garland. So I think the line is justified given if I'm the 76ers here, Donnie, I'm not winning every game, and I know that, and I'd be shocked if we're just going to keep burning these young guys night after night. So I think the line is warranted. I don't think they'll go down quietly, but I think the Cavs are excited here tonight to get their full complement back on the court.
7:30 tonight from the world's most famous arena. That's Madison Square Garden. The Minnesota Timberwolves head to town to take on the New York Knicks. This opening line was around 5.5. It doesn't sit there anymore, Joe. We're looking at 4.5s at most outlets here. A total, which opened up around 230.5, still sits around there as well, 229.5. The Knicks at home versus the Timberwolves.
Yeah, this is the old Karl Anthony Towns. Welcome back, taking on the Timberwolves here. And this is going to be interesting, right? Because Ant is also back now. So Anthony Edwards has been cleared. They expect him to be a go here tonight against the Knicks at home. Knicks laying 5.5 is interesting because they're not playing a ton of defense right now. And the Timberwolves get their quarterback back, but Julius Randle going back, DiVincenzo. There's a lot of history between these two teams and their players. So I think this number is a little high, Donnie, for the Knicks here. I think the Timberwolves getting Anthony Edwards back, that's a huge boost for them in this spot.
Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies. This is a home game for the Memphis Grizzlies, tipping off at 8 p.m. Eastern. 7 was the number on the opening line. It's actually a little bit higher at most outlets, Joe, sitting at 7.5 as a favorite for the Houston Rockets and Kevin Durant. A total listed at 232.5. Is Ja's mind right for this game? What's the deal?
Oh, I mean, come on. How can anybody in their right mind? This just should be double digits. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're in a 3-game losing streak. Their supposed superstar there hates everybody, hates the coach, doesn't like the media, hates everybody. They're not playing well as a team. You know where there's smoke, there's fire. In the meantime, the Rockets cruising along here, putting it all together with Kevin Durant and company and a lot of young guys. Kind of hard not to like the Rockets in this spot here tonight.
You know what I like about the Association at times, Joe? It used to be the Miami Heat. Oh, let's get defense. Let's slow it down. Not anymore, people. The Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets in elevation tonight. 9 o'clock start from the Rocky Mountains. How about an 8.5, which has risen to 9.5 now? Look at this total, up from 240.5 to 242.5 for Heat games, Joe. Up and down the court they go. Did they go over tonight? What are they doing here?
Get it. This is hilarious, this number, isn't it, Donnie? Well, the Miami Heat are in the midst of a 4-game road trip, right? They had 2 in L.A. They're 1-1 there. They beat the Clippers, lost to the Lakers. Now they got to fly to Denver. Yeah, a team in which I think it's 9 years in rolling since the last time they've actually beaten them here, Donnie. It's been a terrible stretch here. Bam Adebayo usually gets owned here by the Joker. It is a tough spot, but I'll tell you this. This is a different team. Norm Powell was back Monday night after missing 3 games with a groin injury. He's averaging 24, 25. I like the Heat's chances to stay within the number. I just don't like them to win, Donnie.
How about on the West Coast tonight here? San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. A favorite here for the Lakers. Why? That lets you know who's probably going to be in that starting lineup tonight. As we look at the estimated starters for the Lakers, Doncic, Smart, Reeves, Hachimura, and Ayton. The total in this game listed at 228.5. And by the way, 2-part question. Who do you think wins this game? And also, does sciaticas just go away? Or when is LeBron James ever coming back, Joe?
Yeah, it'll be January when they try to make a run for the postseason. It's going to be a half a year for LeBron. Let's be reasonable here. But the Spurs finally lost a game, sitting 5-1. Lakers right behind him in this one. So this is Wemby versus Doncic. This is going to be a whole lot of fun to watch happen here. 2.5 are the Lakers as a favorite. But the Lakers aren't going to play any defense, Donnie. This number feels real low at 230.5 here. The Spurs will play defense, but all the defense in the world, I don't think you're stopping Luka here. So I tend to think that this game might be a pretty entertaining shootout going over the total.
Golden State Warriors last night pick up a double-digit victory. Golden State Warriors go on the road as an aging team here on a back-to-back, taking on the Sacramento Kings. The opening number was Golden State -3. Now we're seeing -2.5 and -3.5 now for the Sacramento Kings and a total of 226. The one thing we could probably look at, Joe, is who's going to be in that starting lineup tonight, and maybe some of those veterans get a rest night, but we'll find out a little bit later today. But it currently stands Kings as a favorite.
Well, Steph Curry's already been ruled out with an illness, so he's not going here tonight. We know Jimmy Butler has been questionable since, 2018 with lower back soreness. Draymond Green also has already been told that he will be rested for this game. So this is going to be the younger Golden State Warriors going on the road against a terrible Sacramento team. They still have enough firepower to get it done here, which is why this line Donnie, is where it is at, but there won't be Steph, there won't be Draymond, there likely won't be Jimmy Butler here.
Yeah, full card all the way through the association. And again, games start at 7 o'clock. There's 3 of those there. And then we have the nightcaps, Joe, on the West Coast, 3 10 o'clock games. Only 10 o'clock game, you take a look at there and say, ooh, which one do I don't like? I actually like all 3 of those. Like OKC, one of the best teams in basketball. The Golden State Warriors, who's going to play in that game? Can they beat the Sacramento Kings? And then the Lakers, getting back Luka Doncic there, and also Austin Reeves. Can they take down Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs? But we're going to flip it over now. NCAA football. Oh, you had a TV show yesterday, did you? Let's take a look.
What have the Jays done all season long? And you've seen it, Kev, as a fan of the AL East. They get murdered or lose a heartbreaking game and come back and punch you in the face. They're not. It's what like the old Jays team used to fold, and that's what I used to hate about them. These guys are different. They're like guys you go to war with. It's like, man, you're my buddy. Like, let's go. Like, their clubhouse dynamic, I've never seen a Blue Jay team where everyone gets along.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Apparently, he's a pretty darn good defensive coordinator. The 49ers are decimated by injury. This guy's doing it again. Wade Phillips, Norv Turner, all these guys, there's a lot of great coordinators out there. I'm not so sure Mike McDaniel isn't a real good coordinator, a run game coordinator, a quarterback coach with the 49ers during some Super Bowl years. Maybe he's just not built to be a head coach.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I think a divorce is coming. I don't think LeBron finishes the year with the LA Lakers. And the trump card he tried to play has backfired on him big time. And I'm here for all the smoke. I got my marshmallows. I got my skewers. I got the fireplace. I'm going to sit back, kick at my feet, and watch the LA dysfunction play out in real time.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
governor calls you out in a football state, you're out.
And it was so funny, too, because after he fired Kelly on Sunday, right, Woodward released a statement that said that, in effect, that he was still in charge of the athletic department. Well, you didn't check with the governor because apparently he had other plans for the athletic department, and you're not in them.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The most meaningless show on television, and no, it's not The Early Line. This is one of the most important shows you're going to watch to set you up for your SportsGrid day. It's how we get the day started. But I like to rail on certain topics, Joe, that don't make sense to me. I don't like waste of time. That's number one. The College Football Playoff Rankings show is an unbelievable waste of time that has no business being on TV or even being talked about. But yet, Joe, here we are on The Early Line on the SportsGrid. Now we're talking about it because it is news. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. Number 3, Texas A&M. Yeah, thanks for playing at this point here. But the question is always who's going to fill out the rest of that top 10? Notre Dame, Texas, and OU. Now, here's also what I like in the college football playoff rankings. And this is what I rail upon where it's like, well, you got to save some of the Power 5 teams to get in. No, you don't. We just want the best 12 teams in the college playoff, regardless of conference affiliation, Joe. That's how I see it here. But Notre Dame at number 10, I told you, they're going to make it in, Joe. They will be a playoff team.
Yeah, and, they mentioned it last night, too, that they have this new metric that they spend an awful lot of time and emphasis on quality of competition. They call it this, quote, record strength metric that they are using. So I like that idea because, listen, I mean, we talked about it, like Georgia Tech of the world, congratulations on your great record, and you've played absolutely nobody here. So they are putting a bigger emphasis on record strength, but that hasn't stopped them from putting Notre Dame a couple of spots, in the top 10, right? And Miami is 18, and Miami beat Notre Dame. And we got a couple of 2-loss teams that are just on the outside looking in. All of this is going to change, Donnie, all of it. But what's not going to change is the fact that the Big Ten and the SEC dominate the best teams in college football. What a shock. Monster conferences like that, super conferences, have most of those teams in the top 12 that would be looking in. Shocker.
And I don't mind it. Like, just give me the big brands in the business that can win a championship. I like that. Here's also what I think is hilarious, which, again, I love the expansion because at least you're getting more teams in, and it's never going to be perfect because that's where the NCAA likes it. Oh, we don't want it to be perfect. We want people yelling and screaming. But if I go through, Joe, number 1, which is Ohio State, to number 25, which is Tennessee, and I look in between, I go, there's no, power, outside of the Power 4 teams listed in here, and rightfully so. But once we get to the final show, the non-group of 4 Power 4 school, they're going to be included in this. Why do we do this here, Joe? Why do we say, oh, well, let the teams outside the Power 4s in? Why do we have to let them in if they're not as good as anybody else?
Well, I mean, and Virginia is the perfect case, right? I mean, Virginia is has the best record. They're undefeated, right? They're the only ACC team worth even talking about, Donnie, and they're number 14 here right now? I mean, so who should they be in over, right? With Virginia's schedule and who they've played in that weak conference there. So, yeah, there is still a lot that has to be determined here. And Virginia, I think, is going to be the perfect test case. Are we getting the 12 best, Donnie, or are we trying to figure out who deserves it more?
Exactly. Now, look, I'll go through the rulings for you here. Pitt at 24, get out of town. Let's go through. Miami, get out of here. Georgia Tech, get out of here. Cardinals, get out of here. Louisville, Virginia, get out of here. So what I basically do, throw the ACC. The ACC should be a group of 5 conference, not actually a Power 4 conference at this point right here. Just give me Big Ten, just give me SEC, and leave me alone in my business, and away we go, which brings me up here. How about the Big 12? They got a monster game on tap this weekend, Joe. BYU and Texas Tech. And what if I would have told you it's a 2 top 10 teams, but a double-digit favorite for Texas Tech over BYU and a total of 52.5? Is that too many points for a top 10 tilt, Joe?
It feels it, Donnie, right? Because to me, these are two very good defensive teams with underrated offenses here. But to expect a blowout, and that's what that number is telling you this game is going to be. Well, if it is, Donnie, I'll tell you this. We are underestimating Texas Tech then. We know they spent more money in NIL deals than just about anybody. But my goodness, if they end up blowing out, covering that number there, yeah, then Texas Tech might be the Big 12 savior when it's all said and done.
How about the Big 10 savior? Could it be Indiana with a chance to knock off Ohio State? They'll probably get their chance. But in the meantime, another state school, Penn State, they're favored by over 2 touchdowns. Cignetti comes to Beaver Stadium, and he's looking to tear that bad boy down without the renovation, Joe.
Well, you know Cignetti. I mean, he's already made it quite clear that if he can run you over, then flip it in reverse and run you over again, and then flip it in. He is going to do it, and it could be a very long day in Happy Valley, especially since Indiana hasn't won there in 100 years.
I hated Cignetti last year. I love Cignetti this year. How about that change of tune? Hour number 2 is coming up. More hot topics on the way. Keep the dial here